Right, we are live. I'm getting the hang of this, Andy. How are you? Anyway, we are live. It's afternoon in the UK. Right, we are live. I'm getting the hang of this, Andy. How are you? Anyway, we are live. It's afternoon in the UK. Right, we are live. Sorry, I've got the echo there. I don't know what was happening there. Can you hear me all right now?
Yeah, it repeated a couple of times, but you're fine now. You're okay now, yeah.
Weird. That's ironic. I was just saying I was getting the hang of it and it went weird. So we have already got my friend Bob from Australia. We've already got Lolly from New Zealand. We've got another Melinda from Australia, and we've got Christina from Denmark. So, and Cyprus. So,
wow,
seriously, we've got some good people on here already. So thank you for joining us, everyone. So welcome everyone to another one of our Empower Ourselves Through Health series with my really, really good friend, holistic health coach, Andy Mills. How is it going, Andy?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Considering everything that's going on in the world, Catherine, you know me, I just take everything in my stride, do what I need to do, and I always just keep a smile on my face.
You do. And the thing is, from everyone that I know, from, I've known Andy for quite a long while now, and you really do keep a smile on your face. And part of what we're going to be speaking about today, we're going to be speaking about the importance of sleep, because it is so, so important to health. And just to let everyone know what we're going to be doing over the next few weeks, we're taking a different subject each week, because all of us have got different challenges when we're looking at balancing physical, emotional, spiritual health. And there's loads of different bits of the jigsaw puzzle that are really important, aren't they?
Absolutely. And one of the reasons I keep a smile on my face is because of what we're going to talk about today is getting some good sleep.
Yeah, so I must say this is a really good one for me to listen to, because I'm a strong believer in practicing what you preach. And I think a lot of my other bits at the jigsaw puzzle I've got well in place, but sleep is something that I can quite easily slip into bad habits about. Often because I've got lots of animals, which means I get up very early and go to bed very late. But we're going to talk about lots of different tips for different types of sleep, how it regulates our physical and emotional health and everything. So where do you want to kick off, Andy? What do you want to start?
Yeah, I think one big thing to start with is, you can go as deep as you want into sleep. You can go into the science of hormones, the science of nutrition behind it, and a million things. But I think that the audience that we're looking at is people who want good tips. They want maybe basic information, which is really what we all need to look at. So I'll maybe go down that route, but I'll start off by saying that honestly, I know what it's like not to have good sleep. I've been a health practitioner holistic health practitioner for over 20 years. But I just retired after 30 years in the fire brigade as a firefighter. So trust me, I am still trying to get my sleep patterns back to what I would consider as normal, and it's getting there. And it takes a long time. It's like when you dehydrate. If you seriously dehydrate, it can take up to 3 months to rehydrate again. So just stopping shift work. Shift work is a killer for sleep patterns, a killer. It really is. Especially as a firefighter up during the night. Anyone who shift works, it doesn't matter what they're doing, they're awake. So it really does screw with your sleep patterns really, really badly. But a lot of people who don't have shift work, they struggle with sleep patterns. There's a lot of different reasons for that, and we'll go into some of them. But you know what does help us sleep? Well, there's a hormone that the body releases, and you can get in certain foods, especially one particular food that's called melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone which is produced by, I think it's a pineal gland that produces melatonin, and that melatonin helps draw you into a deeper sleep. Okay, so hormones, as I think we all know, are the master regulators of the body. So one thing, we want to make sure we got a good general healthy lifestyle to try and optimize the development and the release of the hormones at the right times throughout our body. So melatonin, remember that word, melatonin, very, 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 very important. It is the sleep hormone. It's known as the sleep hormone. And melatonin is meant to be very high as a hormone in the nighttime, and it's meant to be lower in the daytime, and it's triggered by darkness. Okay, so melatonin is triggered by darkness. That's the sleep hormone. Cortisol is the only other hormone I'm going to mention. And I'm sure everybody said about cortisol and adrenaline and things like that. Well, cortisol is a stress hormone. Now, cortisol can be a very good stress hormone. Cortisol rises as you start to wake up in the morning, and that wakes you up. That's what cortisol is designed to do. Cortisol is meant to be high in the day and low at night. But cortisol is one of those stress hormones also, which is your fight or flight. If you're going through the jungle and a tiger or something like that is about to attack you, the cortisol kicks in, you get the fight or flight. So cortisol is also our friend as well as melatonin. When you got saber-toothed tiger as a caveman and the saber-toothed tiger is running towards you, you don't want your melatonin to kick in, you want your cortisol to kick in. So they're both our friends, but they need to be working correctly. Too much of one is no good at the wrong times, and too much of another is no good at the wrong times. And generally, we're meant to have like that 80-20 balance between stress hormones, where they're going. And most people are the wrong way around. Most people have got too much stress hormones when they should have those sort of sleepy hormones. It's the wrong way around for lots and lots of different reasons. So, think about this as well. Remember this blue light. Blue light is like daylight.
Yeah.
Blue light is also computer light. Blue light is also TV light. So when we're starting to get towards those times in the evening where we're getting ready for bed, what are most of us doing, me included, whether on our phone or we're on our computer or we're watching the TV? You can get some great glasses called blue blockers, and blue blockers block that blue light. Okay, so they block that blue light, which means that screen time that you've got can cut down on the effects it's having on the cortisol and the melatonin in your body. Okay, so remember, light equals sunshine. Sunshine equals cortisol release, which equals daytime activities. We want that in the daytime, not in the evening. Okay, and bear things in mind like this as well when we're just going off on a very slight tangent, but it has got to do with sleep, is if you work in an office that's got no windows, it really, really messes with the brain, because your brain doesn't know whether it's 6 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Because you've got all these fake lights. So bear in mind, if you do work in an office, you maybe need to work a little bit harder during the day with your diet and a little bit harder in the evenings when you're trying to get your sleep cycles on an even keel, because that office with no windows and fake lighting can really play havoc as well. Okay. So you've got,
sorry,
go for it.
Make a really important point there. I see a lot of people who keep animals, particularly if you've got things like rabbits, guinea pigs, hamsters. Obviously, we're not talking about nocturnal animals, but daylight is important for all of us, including our animals, because it's also very important for things like vitamin D production as well. So it's really important that everything we're talking about today, you also bear in mind for your animals. So just a little point on that with my guinea pigs, because they've got a shed that they stay in, and then they can go outside into their outside run. But in their shed, they've also got one of these special daylight, they call them SAD, SAD lamps, etc., which you can get also if you're spending a lot of time inside, can't you, Andy?
Absolutely, yeah. There's I love it when you start talking about the animals, because it's so
don't
important.
Forget guinea pigs, yeah.
They're so important. No, I agree with you all that. I think I love it. Okay, but we've got these natural.
Sorry, before we move on to that, Andy, because you covered this about the melatonin, Carol's asking, can you increase melatonin production in your 60s? We're going to come on to that, aren't we?
Absolutely, we're going to come on to that. We're absolutely
don't
going to
worry,
come on to
Carol, we're coming back to that one. Okay.
Great question, really good question. But we want to just get into the basics of these natural sleep-wake cycles. This is really important. Okay, really, really, really important to sort of get a grasp of what this means for our overall health. So we're meant to wind down as the sun sets. So we're going back to Paleolithic times, to caveman times, to saber-toothed tiger times. Okay, we're hardwired to the earth. Okay, and everything that goes with it, to Mother Nature, we're hardwired to it. It's in our DNA. It's in our hardwiring. Doesn't matter how much we evolve, we're hardwired to it. Okay, there's no getting away from it. And we're meant to wind down as the sun sets and fall asleep 10:30ish, something like that, depending where you live in the world. Okay. Now, this is the thing to really, really, really think about, really understand what this means. Now, between kind of 10 p.m. at night and 2 a.m. in the morning, that's when your body repairs physically. Okay, that cellular repair, that muscular repair, that's when we repair physically. Now, that's roughly generally between 10 p.m. at night and 2 a.m. in the morning. Now, it doesn't matter if you stayed awake all night and then slept from 6 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. that night. You will not get the same physical repair, as you will get as sleeping between 10 at night and 2 in the morning. It won't happen because we're hardwired. That's optimal. That's the best of the best, okay? And the second thing is between, again, generally 2 in the morning and 6 in the morning. That's when we get this, immune system repair, and nervous system repair, and our brain system repair, okay? Immune system repair, how important is that? Regardless of what you think about what's going on in the world at the moment, our immune system is important to us. So between 2 and 6 a.m. in the morning, we get our immune, our nervous system, our brain repair, okay? And again, you could sleep from 6 in the morning till 6 that next night for 12 hours. You will not get the same repair as you get between 2 and 6 in the morning. So you can see where that kind of 10:30 asleep, in bed asleep till 6 a.m. in the morning, if you really excuse me, if you really get that sleep, you are going to get some phenomenal repair. The growth hormones, all these hormones are going to come out and repair your body, okay? So try to get to bed around about 10:30 at night. And if you don't think you've got a great sleep, or even if you have, which not many people are, if you're in that lucky position where you could get a power nap for 15-20 minutes maximum during the day, get a power nap during the day. That will really revitalize you, okay? But not many people can do that. But if you can, you're lucky. And remember, a lack of sleep can cause, a lot of people got all these nagging ailments. Why am I getting this? Why am I getting these ailments? That can be a factor. That lack of sleep can be a factor. And think about it. If you're going through a stressful time in your life and you're not sleeping, you're lying awake worrying about things, you wake up absolutely destroyed the next day, knackered, and the whole world looks like it can collapse around you, okay? That can have on a ongoing basis, that can have a significant effect on mental health. However, when those mornings you wake up and you thought, I just had a fantastic sleep, the world looks different. You can really hit those stresses of the day with a high energy and a different outlook. So, bear all of that in mind as well. Chronic stress, coffee, sugar, all these type of things, poor diet, they can all have an effect on you. And in fact, they will have an effect on your sleep patterns. And if you're not eating correctly during the day as well, there's something called hypoglycemia, which means there's a blood sugar drop. If you get a blood sugar drop during the evening, this is where maybe Catherine, when we go on, will be able to give you some nutrition tips on that type of thing. If you get a hypoglycemic attack as such, early hours of the morning, it will affect your sleep. It'll kick in adrenaline. Adrenaline will help produce sugar and draw sugar into the body. And sugar releases cortisol, which is your daytime hormone. So hopefully you're starting to get the idea about how sleep is so important and how so I'm answering that. We're starting to answer that question. I can't remember who it was earlier that asked the question about can you help increase melatonin going into your 60s? Absolutely, you can. One of the ways is by diet and exercise. Don't exercise too much. Don't overtrain. But exercise is great. Too much will affect the sleep. Too little will affect the sleep. So you want enough. Grounding, walking, all these type of things. You're going to say something there, I think, Catherine?
Yeah, so that's really good. I'm going to come back to a couple of things as well from Carol sort of saying about since you retired, because there's some important things about purpose that I want to bring in a minute. But I just wanted you just to reiterate, if you could, for Maria, about the 10 to 12 rule to apply, because I know from personal experience and from my studying with Paul Chek, this really is crucial, and also working with a lot of high performance athletes. Would you mind just going over that bit again about the 10 to 2 o'clock and then the 2 till sort of 4 o'clock again, Andy?
Yeah. So there's a lot of studies been done on this over the years, and you can Google the studies, but the studies are basically saying, so I'm using a basic time frame. Depending where you come from in the world, depending on your genetic makeup, etc., things may change a little. But as a general rule of thumb, 10 in the night till 2 in the morning, you are going to get your optimal physical repair, which means I trained hard today and I'm just going to use my legs, my quads as an example. Okay. So on a cellular level, my quads will not repair as well at any time during the day as when I'm sleeping between 10 in the night and 2 in the morning. Okay. That is optimal, the best of the best, the gold standard, the Top Gun of your body repairing between 10 and 2 o'clock in the morning, physical repair. Now, between, again, a rule of thumb, 2 in the morning till 6 in the morning is where you're going to get that immune system repair, that nervous system repair, which is your brain. Okay, you're going to get this repair between 2 and 6 in the morning, again, is optimal. It doesn't matter how much you sleep after that during the day, you will not get that immune and nervous system and brain repair to the extent you will between 2 in the morning and 6 in the morning. Doesn't matter how many hours you sleep after that, that's the optimal. You won't beat it. So 10 to 2, physical, this is a rule of thumb, 2 till 6, what they call psychogenic repair, which is nervous system, immune system, and things like that.
And I would just really thank you, Andy. I think that's really helpful. And there's a lot of science behind this. I mean, we could, sleep is such a complex but important subject. But I noticed earlier on, but I can't find the comment now, Bob saying that he often wakes at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, there's loads of different levels to this. And a lot of you who are listening today will be quite familiar with the body's meridian systems and energy channels. And in Chinese medicine, the meridians all rebalance themselves at certain times in the day and in the night. They all have their certain times where they really rebalance themselves and reset. So if you are finding that you're waking at particular times, there can be lots of reasons for that. Last week, Andy and I spoke quite extensively on gut health. And if your gut health is not optimum, you will struggle to absorb the right nutrients, to regulate the right hormones, which Andy's already spoken about. And this will absolutely affect your sleep patterns. So gut health links back to absolutely everything we're going to be talking about over the next few weeks. But also if certain other physiological areas of your body or emotional areas of your body are out of balance, you can actually look at the times that you're waking up and look at which of your systems of your body, for example, your liver, your kidneys, etc., are out of balance. So the beauty of all of this is, you're going to see as we go through the next few weeks of this series that absolutely everything is linked, isn't it, Andy? And we can always, the more we understand these things, the more we can start really sort of saying, right, why is this person having this particular problem?
Yeah, and you know what? It's amazing you said that. There's so many good points you brought up there, Catherine, because the body is a system of systems. And doing one single thing in isolation doesn't really cut it, okay? And I'm going to use an analogy here. Now, I'm going to use a fruit. I'm not sure it's a grapefruit or the orange. It's one of the two. But years ago, a study came out and it said the women in the north of India very rarely get breast cancer, if at all. But they eat a lot of oranges or they eat a lot of grapefruits, one of the two. I think it was oranges. So what the medical community, the allopathic community said, women need to eat a lot of oranges because it'll cut down on breast cancer. Okay. And we know oranges are good for you. But, let's be honest about it. If you're eating 2 oranges a day, but you're smoking, you're drinking, you're not getting your sleep, you're not exercising, you're doing you're eating unhealthy, you're doing all of these things, do you honestly think a couple of oranges a day are going to cut it? But if you're eating an orange, you're sleeping well, you're hydrating correctly, you're exercising, you're not smoking, you're not drinking, you put all of those together and the body is a system of systems. It will take all of that on board and you will get from what you put into it, what you get out of it. Or should I say you'll get out of it what you put into it. So yeah, it's definitely a system of systems. And one thing that I would highly recommend, okay, break into this slowly, by the way, is cold showers or cold baths first thing in the morning. For the last 7 or 8 years, I've been doing cold showers, but for the last 3.5 years, I have not missed a morning of cold showers, up to 2 minutes. Even if you get in, have a hot shower and finish with a tepid shower for 30 seconds. just so you can stand it. And every day, build it and build it and build it until you get to the stage. I just jump in the shower in the morning, cold, ice cold, straight on, 2 or 3 minutes, wash, and I'm out. Okay. And I'll tell you what, I feel like freaking Superman when I come out. It's amazing. But that's got that's something that you can look into as well. And there's a lot of research on cold showers and what they call cryotherapy. So try these sorts of things. Don't have a cold shower before you go to bed, by the way. Have a warm one. Not a hot one, but a warm one. So if you have one before you go to get to bed, you probably won't sleep.
Yeah. And there's so many good comments coming up from our listeners. We always get such brilliant people listening into our program. So thank you so very much. I am keeping an eye on the questions as we go through. So if it looks like I'm not watching Andy, it's because I'm looking at the questions. So some of them, like Kathy's about smoking, we will come back to in a minute. But it's a very interesting point by Bob about the magic of 3 a.m. Now, all of us watching this will have different lifestyles. Some of us are retired, some of us are working, some of us have got young children or animals, some of us are on shift work. So what we're looking at is understanding the physiology behind sleep. And Andy's already covered that beautifully with the sort of 10 till 12 and the 12 till 2 o'clock side of things in terms of physiologically when our body goes for the physical and psychological repair process. And that is so important for all of us at the moment, because most of the listeners on my YouTube channel are what we would call, I hate the expression, but for what we would call very awake. And they're very aware of the complexities of what's happening at the moment. So that can often come with its challenges in terms of trying to listen to a lot of information, trying to make changes, sort of understanding perhaps things that perhaps other family members don't. But yeah, Bob, in terms of the magic of 3 a.m., it's finding what works for you, because 3 a.m., you've gone through those repair cycles. And Wayne Dyer always used to say, one of my favorites, that's when he got his inspiration and did his best working. So it's absolutely fine to have your own sleep patterns, but trying to keep to that sort of 10 to 2 o'clock where possible, shift work and new babies beside is really, really important.
Can I just say as well, Catherine,
Yeah.
that's a great point by Bob about that magic of 3 a.m. We got to understand we're all individuals, we're all different. And again, I'm going to use not an analogy, but an actual truth. A lot of people either know of or have heard of this person, this man, for example, who smokes 50 a day, drinks a bottle of whiskey a day, never ill in his life, and he lives till he's 103 and dies in his sleep. Okay. There's people out there with genetics that can do things like that. Okay. We're talking about a general population of people, which would take in most of us. Now, maybe some people can get up at 3 a.m., do everything, and have the most awesomely healthy life, and that's great. They found that for themselves, but that's not the general person. If he can survive superbly healthy for the rest of his life doing that, he is one of a very small amount of people who can do it because of his genetics. So bear that in mind. Okay, don't think because that person can do it, I can do it. You will be able to do it for a while, but it's the consistency of it. If your genetics do not fit into that category, it will hit you at some stage. If it doesn't, then maybe you've got those genetics. So, be very, very careful about when you listen to us, when you listen to other people, get a rounded education on everything. So then that rounded education, you're getting some from myself, some from Catherine, some from other people. Get that rounded education so you can try things, experiment with things, and find what works for you. Just because I said something, it might not work for you, but it might work for the person next to you. So experiment with it.
Yeah, and during this series, we are covering sort of, again, I'll come back to Paul Chek because both Andy and I have studied with him, Andy a lot more than me, but absolutely fantastic information. And we've got what Paul Chek calls the 4 doctors: Dr. Happiness, Dr. Movement, Dr. Diet, and Dr. Quiet. And Dr. All of those areas of your life, you're going to hear a lot more about this over the next few weeks, but all of those areas of your life need to be in balance. So, for example, if you're retired and you can have naps during the day, that puts you in a different situation to someone that might be at work during the day. So finding something works for you. But when we understand that sleep is a very crucial part of our lives, for overall health and wellness, and it really affects your body's ability to repair, regenerate. It affects your mood very much so in terms of happiness. And also we've got a couple of conditions we're talking about now, but we're going to have a little chat now about some of the things that people can do, can't we, Andy? So you and I, one of the things we try and really make sure we do in our talks is really give people solutions. So we're going to talk through some sort of product side of things, and then we're also going to talk through some healthy practices side of things.
Yeah, what if I talk about a product side, and then you can maybe talk about other tips and things like that? Yeah. Can I just add, there's one question and one comment there. Anne Howard said, yes, I have a cold shower every morning and feel great after it. Well done. Well done, Anne. Absolutely fantastic. And there's another one there from Sarah Ferguson. She says, I think the lack of sleep and quality of sleep are why I have chronic pain, fibromyalgia. 100%. That is an absolute classic. Of lack of sleep is fibromyalgia. So yes, Sarah, if you can get your sleep patterns, you may find that will help your fibromyalgia. It is a classic, an absolute classic.
And gut health with that, Andy, as well. I don't know if Sarah was on our call last week, but it's been worth you really listening to the gut health, because the two are very much linked, the sleep and the gut health.
Yeah. This is where it's a system of systems, isn't it? It's the body is a highly complex machine. Okay, it can't be duplicated anywhere in the machinery world. When I say people, scientists out there try and beat nature. It's impossible. You will never beat the power of nature. Mother Nature is the most powerful thing out there, and we are hardwired to Mother Nature. You can't beat it. Okay, what you've got to do is find ways of living in homeostasis with nature to get the best out of it. So product side of it, I'm going to talk about tart cherries.
Tart cherries for that.
There we go. So tart cherries, I believe tart cherries are probably the most studied fruit out there. Okay, they're more studied than any other fruit in supporting you in its ability to support you. Okay, so those studies, there's more studies about tart cherries than any other fruit to support in its ability, or showing its ability to support you. Okay, and by the way, that tart cherries aren't something that is thousands of years ago. It's a secret from thousands of years ago. It's only recent times they've started understanding things like what tart cherries do, and maybe things like blueberries and stuff like that. What they realized was tart cherries, and I may be corrected here, but I do believe it's the only natural fruit out there the only fruit out there that's got natural occurring melatonin in it. And melatonin, like I said at the beginning, is that hormone that regulates our deep sleep. Okay. But to double up on that, it's also packed with antioxidants. And the antioxidants do a lot of things, but basically they help clean the body of all those free radicals. Free radicals are the things that can mutate our cells and give us different issues. Fibromyalgia is one of them. Okay. I'm gonna stay on track with this. I was going to say a few other things there, and I'll let you go on about the other things, Catherine, the things you can do. Okay.
Yeah.
So the product that I personally take and I personally recommend, I believe personally, and I've tried a lot, this is the best tart cherry product on the planet. It's called Apothecary. It's fully organic. It's GMO free, and it's got the non-GMO project verified label on it as well. So for me personally, it is the best tart cherry on the planet. It's called Apothecary. It contains a real wide variety of these unique antioxidants and phytochemicals. And what these antioxidants, phytochemicals do is help balance those circadian rhythms. Circadian rhythms are your sleep cycles. Okay, that's all a circadian rhythm is. It's a sleep cycle. And they also support things like healthy joint function. I'll mention something at the end about that. And they also promote healthy uric acid. Okay, or should I say the metabolism, the healthy metabolism of uric acid. Now, anyone knows anything about uric acid? Uric acid can cause gout, and I've never had it, but I know people with gout, and it's really painful. So it can really help with the metabolism of uric acid, so if somebody's got gout, try Apothecary. Okay, it's not going to be a miracle cure, but you incorporate it in your daily nutrition and see how that goes. And it's got a very, very, very high value on something called the ORAC scale, which is ORAC, which is oxygen radical absorbance capacity. Okay, it's something between 6,000 and 7,000 value on that scale, and that is huge. Okay, that is huge. And on top of that, it's also got, like I said, a wide variety of antioxidants and phytochemicals. And what can it do for you? What can tart cherry do for you? Well, it can improve your sleep, which is what we're talking about. It can reduce that free radical damage that we talked about. There's something called ellagic acid. Now, with ellagic acid, the research kind of suggests that this antioxidant, this ellagic acid, has the potential to inhibit, okay, this is important, inhibit the production of lipopolysaccharides, okay, within the body. Lipopolysaccharides create inflammation. So within the tart cherry, you've got something called ellagic acid, which can help inhibit the production of something which creates inflammation. Really important. So it's not just for sleep, it's really important. There's also something called, how do you pronounce this again? Anthocyanin or anthocyanin. Okay, anthocyanin is a flavonoid and it's found in berries, especially in tart cherries. And it's been shown to improve, listen to this one, it's been shown to improve the low density lipoprotein oxidation. Whoa, what does that mean? LDLs. You all have heard of HDL and LDL with cholesterol. Okay, well, imagine we know generally, this is, I could talk about this all on its own about cholesterol, okay, because there's so many myths out there that have been created. But generally, HDL and LDL, HDL is known as the bad cholesterol, and LDL is known as the good cholesterol. So if the good cholesterol can be utilized better and support the cardiovascular system, that's fantastic. So there's something within the tart cherry called anthocyanin, and anthocyanin can help that with the oxidation of your LDLs and your cholesterol. How amazing is that? Okay, so you've got inflammatory, you've got sleep, you've got cardiovascular health that help improves your skin. Goes back to gut health as well, the skin from last week. It can help reduce that buildup of uric acid, which gives you gout, which can be seriously painful for people. That is diet related, but this is part of your diet. And like I say, it's fully organic and it's non-GMO and part of the non-GMO verified project. So I'm going to finish on tart cherries by saying this. I'm 55. As we get older, our body doesn't recover as well from workouts, and our body does break down. You know, this meat suit that we're walking around in, it's made of skin and bone and all sorts of things. It breaks down as time goes on. How fast and how bad it breaks down depends on how we look after it. Okay. Now, I've done a lot of things in my youth I shouldn't have done with my body. Okay, so I'm kind of damage limitation at this stage of my life, but I think I'm doing okay. So one example of how I use tart cherry outside of taking it at night is this. I had a really heavy workout today, and I can feel my knees a bit tired, just a little bit achy from my workout. So what do? Going on what I just told you about LDL, but especially about inflammation, how this tart cherry can help with inflammation. Instead of taking the recommended 2 tablespoons in water before I go to bed for melatonin, I'll microdose it. So I'll take 1 teaspoon in some warm water. I'll drink it after my workout when I've had a heavy workout. Listen,
Cheers, Andy.
Yeah, cheers. I'll drink it after my heavy workout, and it absolutely does help with that inflammation. Okay. Now I like to drink things at at room temperature, because the closer you can get something maybe a bit warmer than room temperature, the closer you can get something to your body's internal, the core temperature, the faster and the better it gets metabolized in the body. So I'm going to leave that one there, Catherine, and I'm going to throw it over to you to give us some more amazing tips about how you can help you sleep.
Yeah, so we've had loads of good questions. Thank you so much for that. And just to clarify a couple of things about the tart cherry. Now, People always ask me, links are under my videos, but I have also, if you look at scrolling off the bottom, just like last week, you can get, if you're new to ordering from the PURIUM or Platinum Health, you can go to my catherineedwards.life website health products tab, and you will see on there the PURIUM, which is where you get it from for if you're in the USA or Canada, and the Platinum Health if you're in the UK or in Europe. And if you're ordering for the first time, you will have one of my gift cards, which will give you €50 or $50 off your first order. Now, the reason why Angie and I share what works for us is because there's no point talking about problems without giving solutions. And you see me put comments in the book here also about the medical medium, Anthony Williams, who's got some brilliant books, brilliant Instagram page, brilliant free resources and everything. So there's a whole range of tools to help with the different conditions. Some of the other things I really wanted to mention about sleep is there's a lot we can do to help ourselves. So one of the first thing is how you're feeling about life in general. Because when you have a big enough dream or purpose each day, you don't have to think to get into a crisis, a health crisis, to start making changes. So one of the things, if people are suffering from sleep issues, one of the main things you can do is start bringing more joy into your life. Now, this is a whole separate talk that Angie and I will probably do in a few weeks' time. But being conscious of how you're feeling emotionally will have a massive effect on your sleep. So even if it's picking up the phone to speak to a friend, even if it's watching something that inspires you, doing a meditation, taking a walk in nature, etc. So please do really look at what you can do to actually bring more joy, because if you're going to bed in a very low emotional state, that's going to stop you sleeping. Angie's already mentioned about the blue lights, etc. So making sure you switch off your phones or computers at least an hour before you go to bed is really, really important. Now, for those of us that are really liking to keep up to date with the current situation or educate ourselves, that can be a challenge, but we have got to make sure that we get our good quality sleep. So everything in moderation. Pick times of the day when you can listen to stuff or watch stuff, and then turn those devices off. Don't have phones in your bedroom, and if possible, turn your Wi-Fi off. Meditation is great. Again, a whole subject in itself. Lots of people have a resistance to meditation, but it's really simple. Before bed is a great time. First thing in the morning is a great time, but it really helps to sort of switch off your mind. And also listening to some of the binaural beats or healing frequency musics can be really effective. I find that really, really effective. And a question here from Maria. If melatonin doesn't help you, there's lots of reasons. You know, are you really stressed? When are you taking it? But one of the most important reasons is, are you taking a good quality product, and in what form? So the product that Andy and I recommend in the tart cherry juice is in 100% natural form. It's not a synthetic melatonin. And there's a huge difference between synthetic versions of these substances and these hormones and the natural versions. So I would be looking at what melatonin you're taking.
Can I just break in there a second as well, Catherine? The one thing about this melatonin that myself and Catherine take, all that is in it is tart cherry. That's it. There's no other added ingredients. There's no added this. There's no capsule for it that's made of this. It's 100% tart cherry. Nothing added. That is it. So you know, you can get patches, you can get all sorts of things. What, you know, what's in a patch? Is it good? Is it not good? So yeah, you know, I saw that question. I spotted that question as well. That's a great question. But yeah, this is 100% tart cherry. Nothing else. Nothing added to it.
And we've tried lots of different ones on the market, and whether it's organic, how it's produced. We spoke last week when we were talking about gut health. It's not just the substance, it's how that substance is produced. So for example, if it's heat treated during the production process, it's useless, kills all the active ingredients. So you know, you can buy lots of different tart cherries, but you'll notice a difference when you get one from someone that really knows what they're doing and they're really producing it in the right way. And a question here from Kathy about red light therapy. Well, anyone who looks at my Catherine Edwards Academy site will see that I'm one of the few level 3 red light therapist accredited, well, certainly in the UK, but actually there's not many of us globally. Kathy, I adore red light therapy, but again, not all red light therapy units are the same. There's a huge difference in quality. Angie knows how much I like red light therapy because you use it as well, don't you? And you use one of the units I do. So yeah, Kathy, it's brilliant, but you've got to get a good unit because there's a huge difference between the cosmetic red light therapy units and the therapeutic ones. So lots and lots of really fantastic stuff. Frozen wild blueberries are absolutely amazing, Andrea. They're really good. So there's so many health products. And one of the ladies put a comment about lavender and chamomile tea. Yes, those are brilliant if they work for you. But what we're really looking for our sleep is we're looking at our emotional state. We're looking at the timing of when we're getting sleep. We're looking at cutting off the distractions, particularly EMF, blue light, stressful distractions. You know, don't go and start looking through your mortgage statement just before you get into bed. Gratitude journals are a brilliant way to clear the mind and get in a state of gratitude before you go to sleep. So yeah, there's loads of different healing frequencies of music. There's 432. Yeah, the Hertz 650 for the red light, Kathy. Yeah, that's one of the things. But there's more to it. There's the Hertz and the things. So I'm sure you've got a good quality one. But I adore red light therapy if it's a good unit. Unfortunately, when you see everything on the market, there's a lot of really awful ones out there as well, which don't work. So we've seen from the comments today, you've got loads of different health devices. You've got cold showers. You've got walking in nature, as we always say, looking at your overall health, because a lot of people today have mentioned about not going to being able to get off sugar. I've just completed, as those of you that know me of things, my 10-day cleanse with PURIUM. Absolutely fantastic. If anyone is suffering from sugar cravings, doing a 10-day cleanse is the way to break them. I guarantee it will break any sugar cravings, because sugar cravings are caused by gut imbalances, feeding your body the wrong foods, which then causes your microbiome to crave the wrong foods. So again, lots and lots we can do to this. In terms of how do you listen if your phone on? Oh, come on, Kim, seriously. You can work this one out yourself. What I do is I will download things, so I don't have my Wi-Fi on, and you can play that, or you can go back to good old-fashioned CDs. But yeah, you know, you can download things, particularly if you've got YouTube Premium, because you don't want to be listening to healing frequency music and bombarding yourself with Wi-Fi at the same time. It's not going to be very constructive.
Also, Catherine, if you've like, I've got Apple Music. What I do, I download things, and the things that I want to be able to listen to when there's no Wi-Fi in the evening, because I turn my Wi-Fi off, or if your Wi-Fi is on, you want to flick your iPod or your iPhone or whatever you've got onto airplane mode, so it's not bringing the signals. But if you've got the music hard downloaded, not in the cloud, hard downloaded onto your iPod or your phone, you don't need Wi-Fi, just like Catherine said there. So that's what I do. If you're going to keep your phone on during the night for an alarm clock or something like that, make sure at least it's on airplane mode.
And also the other thing, which is really important, Kim, and anyone else who's interested, is really important you don't leave your phone, even on airplane mode, that you don't leave your phone or other devices switched on the electrical circuit, on the plugs at night, because even on airplane mode, it will turn your whole room into basically a big microwave of EMF radiation.
And from an ex-firefighter's point of view, leaving your phone charged in at night is a serious fire hazard as well. Serious fire hazard.
Point.
Yeah, I've been to many fires where they've been caused by genuine Apple products just being plugged in overnight. So be very careful of that as well.
Yeah. So there's lots of ways, and Sarah's saying that yes, you can burn your so onto CDs, and some people can do that. You can also get little portable microphones that you can record it onto that. So lots of ideas about doing that, but it's a good question. But don't sort of cut off your nose to spite your face. Find a way to download it so that you don't have to leave your phone on. So lots of really good comments here. I would just like to say thank you so much for supporting us. Pinned at the top, there is if you like the work that Andy and I are doing, there is a PayPal link at the top, and anything that's donated from particularly shows we split the two of us. The reason I'm saying that is we do put a lot of research into this. So any little donations do actually help us keep sort of doing this work. If you want to order any of the products and you need any advice, please do get in contact with me. My email address is under all my videos on YouTube. And as soon as this has gone live, I'll add that in there with all Andy's details as well. Because whether you want to walk in nature, whether you want to buy a product, whether you want to bring more joy into your life, for everyone's situation and budget, there's something you can do. But just bringing the sleep into the front of your focus will really help you realize, because it is, in my experience, one of the things that people forget about, and it can be one of the most important things that you can do to transport your, to transform your health.
Can I throw a challenge in there? Just a little challenge.
Please do.
Yeah, a little challenge. Okay, little challenge for everyone. I do this regular myself. Before you go to bed at night, first of all, try the tart cherry. Try the apothecary. Okay. This is all part of the challenge. Try the apothecary. Turn your Wi-Fi off before you go to bed. Turn your phone off before you go to bed. Use your iPod or iPhone on flight mode and don't leave it plugged in. And maybe start packing up downstairs at 9 p.m. Make your way upstairs. Do all your ablutions, clean your teeth, whatever you're going to do. Have your warm shower. That'll take you to 9:15. And then try doing something like very gentle movement, a gentle bit of stretching, a gentle bit of mobilization, a gentle bit of Tai Chi, a gentle bit of breathing exercises or meditation, or just listen to some very gentle music. And then go to bed. And go to bed with a calm mind. Go to bed with a great attitude. And go to bed without being hammered with all of these TV programs and talking about your mortgage statements, talking about business the next day, talking about stresses at work. That's a challenge. That's my challenge for you. Okay. Try the apothecary. Do everything I said with your phone. Try a little bit of stretching or breathing, a little bit of gentle music, nice music, and then take yourself to bed. And you'll find you'll jump into bed 10:15, 10:30. And if you do that on a regular basis, I would love to hear any feedback on Catherine's channel here, any feedback that you can give. It might not work for you, but hey, you don't get results unless you try things.
I love that, Andy. And my final tip of the day is always let your cat on the bed with you, because that gives me the best night's sleep ever. So thank you so much for everyone to join us. I must say, on the shows I do with you, Andy, and the shows that I do with Timo, my vet friend, who I'm speaking to later, we get such brilliant participation from everyone who's joining us. So we really do appreciate your comments, everyone, and your support. So thank you. And for anyone who's got animals, who are interested in animal health, I have another live with my amazing vet friend, Dr. Timo, at 5:00 UK tonight. So please do feel free. And Andy and I will post what we're going to be speaking about next week over the next sort of 24 hours. Thank you so much, Andy. You're such a wealth of information. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate being invited, and appreciate everybody listening in, all your comments, and really look forward to the next one, Catherine.
Yeah. Take care, everyone. Thank you. Bye.